Welcome back to this men's colognes channel. Today's video is about spring fragrances for men and the best ones at that. So let's start with the first fragrance, and I've got niche designer, so something for everybody. First up, let's start with a niche one. Let's start strong, and it is Sospiro Pasticcio, I think that's pronounced. And this fragrance, it is a wow fragrance. Man, it's even better than I imagined. Like in my head, every time I spray this, I'm like, wow, this is a sandalwood heavy fragrance. It's full of musks, heliotrope, a bit of ylang ylang. The sandalwood in here is a bit coconutty, a bit tropical, but yet there's a lot of woodiness in this fragrance that comes across quite manly. But then the sandalwood, if you love sandalwood in like Scandal from Jean Paul Gaultier, you love this. But this is on another level. It's got many florals in here as well. And to me, this reminds me of pistachio ice cream. It has got that creaminess, that nuttiness, that intensity, but also mildness. It's such a sexy, very different fragrance. I mean, this fragrance, it's a must try, and it's something that would really differentiate you. And just smelling it in the air, it's just so good, guys. The next fragrance for spring, and I try to choose like many freshies because I think once it gets a bit warmer, we want something a bit piercing, and this is an amazing offering, YSL Intense. This fragrance, in my opinion, is a bit more grown up from the line. It just smells a bit more like a modern guy. It smells more put together, and this just features an amazing ginger note, which right off the bat just grabs you. It's such an attractive fragrance. It's super manly as well. Lasts a very good amount of time. Projects really well. And this, it has got something so just easy going about it. If you just want a fragrance you can wear every single day, it has got excellent projection and longevity. It will just make you smell amazing, and it will for sure gather a lot of compliments. Get YSL Intense. I would say that this is one of the top recommendations in my collection. Seriously, I love this so much. I think they are offering like one of the best blue colognes for men on the designer market. Next up, we've got a niche fragrance, and man, I love this scent. And you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I adore this scent. This is a nod to like the OG good colognes, but with a huge modern twist. This is just a bomb for me. Like my personal taste, this is just spectacular. Bohemian Infusion by Thameen. And this fragrance, it is grapefruit. It has got just a blast of ginger, of green crushed leaves. It's got that bitterness, just that lavender. It's so raw and masculine. It's got everything. It's got spiciness. It's got amazing herbal greenness to it. It's got depth, it's got projection. It smells absolutely incredible in the air. You can tell like I'm getting excited because I know how this smells on my husband. Like I get him to test all the fragrances, and when he wears this one every single time, I'm like, wow, this fragrance is even better in the air than just up close on the skin or when I test it on a scent strip. This in the air is such a masculine fragrance, and the black currant, the bitterness, the freshness, it's just a perfect light but also intense fragrance for the springtime. So it's just the best of both worlds. It's not like a summer fragrance, but it sits there of like the intensity is still there, but you've got that added freshness. It's just so good. Next up, we've got a fragrance that is amazing value for money. This fragrance smells super expensive and it's so affordable. It's changed the flow from Iceberg. This is a baby that the atomizer is even good. Like, how do they manage to do this for such a small amount of money? Like, I don't get it. But the scent itself is also super amazing. It is this really intense tobacco, leathery saffron scent, and it's also got ginger in here, which I think lifts it a little bit and makes it more of a spring fragrance. This is on a more heavier side for the springtime, but I think you'll all love the intensity of it, the longevity, the value for money, the scent profile. This could be a $200, $300 fragrance. Like seriously, if you put this in a Parfum de Marly bottle, I'll be like, yeah, this is a Parfum de Marly fragrance. This is that sort of a very good fragrance, very, very good, because I do hate fragrances that smell cheap. This one doesn't go to that cheap place. It's seriously amazing, and if you like rich leathery tobacco scents with a bit of spice, a bit of that ginger, try this for sure. Like for sure you have to do it. I blindfolded myself because from the notes I was like, I have to try it, and I was not disappointed. Next up, we've got a fragrance that I want to thank one of you because you on Instagram reminded me of this fragrance, and when I was thinking about this filming of this video, I thought, this fragrance is so good, and one of you loves it as well because you wrote to me on Instagram. This is the first fragrance I got from Maison Crivelli. This is how much I love the scent. This is an underrated gem. I don't think it gets the hype that it deserves. It's Bois Datchai from Maison Crivelli. This fragrance, it's so dry, woody, bitter, black currant. It's got tea in here as well, like a green tea note that's just amazing. It's really spicy as well with cardamom, and it's one of those fragrances that just smell herbal, almost like medicinal, so dry. This, because it's a bit harder to try, I would say if you love Byredo de los Santos, if you like oud wood, it's like a cross. It's somewhere in the middle. It's not as medicinal as De Los Santos, which is a super sexy fragrance from Byredo, but this is somewhere in the middle. It lasts a long time. It's so dry, masculine, just raw. It's quite inspiring of a fragrance, I would say. If you want a fragrance that just inspires you, that is very different, this is so amazing. Another scent that is just a no-brainer for the springtime me. This is the time that I would say you should be just starting to grab this fragrance and wear it again if you already own it, and it is Terre D'Hermes from Hermes, of course. This is the eau de toilette, but who am I kidding? I love all the versions. I probably should get them all and do a comparison. Let me know in the comments if you would be interested in that, because they've just come out with a new one, like a re-release, I think. So this fragrance, it is just glorious. I love the eau de toilette. This is the one that we have, because of the freshness and lightness of it. It doesn't go to that heavy vetiver leathery place that other ones do. This is just an uplifting scent, but it can be a summer fragrance, but also in the springtime, because of how spicy it is, I think it totally works. This smells amazing, and this is a timeless, classy fragrance that is in no way boring. Even if you're like 18, you would probably like this. So I love recommending this because my personal taste is a lot like leaning towards those classy, timeless, really good fragrances, but sometimes they can be just smell too outdated for some of you. But this fragrance is not that. It just marries being classy but being modern at the same time, and it smells absolutely incredible in the air. So good. Alternative to your blue fresh fragrances, and projection is so good. Next up, we've got a fragrance that is oh so sexy. This is a fragrance that I would love to smell like everywhere I go. It'll be heavenly. This is Millesime Imperial from Creed. This is my newfound love from Creed. I did, like when I started this channel a couple years back, I did a whole like spreadsheet of every single men's Creed fragrance, and I went through them all and rated them, did like a whole paragraph of what I think about them. I should find that, but I kind of missed out on this one. I didn't love it back then that much, but I love this. I would get a backup bottle of this. This is a fragrance that is ozonic, salty, marine-like, but also it's kind of leathery, especially as it dries down. It becomes just, oh, it's so masculine, so masculine. If you want a shower fresh fragrance that smells niche, if you like Dolce & Gabbana Intense or like Acqua di Gio, if you love those freshies, but you want something that smells really niche, lasts, and it's that same level of sexiness, even more actually with this one. Oh my gosh, I love this scent. I don't know how I missed it the first time around when I was like reviewing all of the creeds. Next up, we've got an amazing fragrance that has been released for quite a while, but if I was to pick one fragrance that is spring, like when I smell this, I think spring, it is l'Odyssée from Issey Miyake. This fragrance, although it's an OG fragrance, man, is it good. Again, it's long lasting. It's yuzu, lemon, tarragon, saffron, nutmeg, but it's also like lily of the valley. It's green, it's slightly bitter, not as bitter as this, for example, but it is a fragrance that has got this lightness and freshness, almost like a barbershop fragrance. And I just love how citrusy, but citruses in here are a bit more zesty. They're like, you just take a lemon and you just grate it and you smell that a slight bitterness. I think that is what is the key of the attractiveness of this. And at the base, again, it's a bit tobacco-ish, a bit leathery, and I think that is what makes this fragrance last. And it's not one of those fleeting herbal lemony fresh fragrances. That's why I love it, because the base is also super masculine. It just adds that oomph to the fragrance. So if you want a fragrance that is classy but also lasts and has got that amazing, just lemony, zesty bitterness with all those spices, this is very good. And you're going to also get it all the time at discounters, which is a plus if you're on the budget and you're looking to just get the most amount of fragrances for your money. So I'll link my favorites down below. I've started linking to Canada because there's quite a few of you watching from Canada, so hello Canadians. The next fragrance is Lattafa Asad. This fragrance, it's just so damn good. And yes, it's known that this is a dupe for Dior Sauvage Elixir, but it's at a very, very good price, and that's why I alternate. Like, I could put Dior Sauvage Elixir on this list or this one, but this one has got a bit more sweetness. It's not as bitter and green, I would say, as Dior Elixir, at least for my nose, and it's still a long-lasting, loud fragrance. It's very well done. You can't really tell like too much of a difference in quality, which is good, although like Dior Sauvage Elixir is certainly better in terms of like how natural it smells, but it is still, it doesn't smell like a cheapie. Next up is a fragrance that smells like a very successful guy who goes on holiday to Portofino, and it is 001 from Parfumeur. This is orange, neroli, clean, soapy, rosemary, mandarin sort of a fragrance. It is just a fresh, herbal, really just smells of those like rosemary herbs, neroli, beautiful fragrance. It's citrusy, it's fresh, it smells just like somebody who's very successful, is able to afford like the best custom made shirts and suits. That is this fragrance to me. So if you want a just springtime, really expensive smelling fragrance, this is just the best. Let me know if I missed any fragrances, if you would add any on this list. Let me know what would they be. I'm especially looking for more designer fragrances that I can recommend to you guys. So if you've got any that you think I should check out and you think I might not know them, then definitely leave them in the comments down below. I'll of course link all of the fragrances, any samples, discount codes I have for them in the description for you, all in one place, and I'll see you in the next one. Very interesting.